Well, hello there, my name's Vinny Voodoo, and in this video I'm going to be talking about 5 ways I think Vanguard is going to make Warzone a better game. See, the problem with Warzone is it's like a little black hole, a little swirly bathroom sink swirling around, sucking in all of the other games, and if the other games aren't very good, looking at you, Cold War, it makes Warzone worse. Now, if Vanguard's a good game, and I think it probably will be, given that it's from Infinity Ward, then it'll make Warzone a better game. And here are 5 reasons why I think that will be the case. Well, basically, the title says it all. Modern Warfare and Warzone were intrinsically siblings. They were both created and worked on the IW8 engine, which Cold War did not. So that meant there was a lot of fudging to get Cold War to work with Warzone, and that fudging really hurt Warzone in my opinion. But Vanguard is going to run on the IW8 engine. This means in theory they can just take assets from Vanguard and plop them straight into Warzone with very little to no fudging, and it'll just work. This is probably the most important one. I should have saved this for last, but this is probably the most important one. Everything you like about the look and feel of Modern Warfare should be in Vanguard, which means everything that comes from Vanguard into Warzone should feel right. And I'm looking forward to seeing if that's the case. Now, if one thing was shown to me with the alpha of Vanguard that I played over the weekend, and that is clearly they've gone all out on things like cloth and also on operator hair texture. A while back, I did a video where I compared Cold War operators to their Warzone equivalents, and whilst I think Cold War is an inferior graphics engine and an inferior game engine, I do think that they nailed the operators in Cold War, if you see what I mean. And when they ported them over to Warzone, they had to cut a lot of corners to get it to work, and the hair didn't flow and it didn't have any naturalness to it. But if you look at this graphic of my character walking down the street taken from the Vanguard alpha that was just on, you can clearly see the hair flowing now. So this means they're improving the engine. I doubt they're going to call it IW9, but they are improving the engine, and that will reflect, I think, in Warzone. When the operators come out for Vanguard, they will look just as good. This again comes down to the fact that it's using the same engine. So I'm looking forward to the operators looking as they should in Warzone. One of the things that really disappointed me fairly recently was when they had a night mode for Warzone, and I did a video on that, and I'll include a link to it. And in that video I compared the night mode for Warzone to the night mode in Dying Light, which nails night. I mean, it's black when it needs to be and you can see towns in the distance. The night mode in Warzone was just pitiful. But the one thing the Vanguard Alpha showed me was that they're going more in to the idea of making night look like night. And in fact, in the Champion Hill mode that you got with the alpha game, you could clearly see that they're going for darker, grittier night realism. So I really like the fact that they're actually now concentrating on getting their engine to look good either in the day or in the night. Another aspect that Vanguard brings to us is the locations, and the word is it's going to be set in the Pacific, it's going to be set in Australia, it's going to be set in the Middle East. Who knows, you know, I mean, they're going to leak things out, but either way it brings us different environments, and since they slot right in, there's no reason to have a Verdansk that's heavily changed. Now, I don't think they're going to do that. What I actually think they're going to do is Verdansk will be more or less the same as it was before the 84 version of it. And there'll be a Rebirth Island type effect set in the Pacific. There's no doubt in my mind that they're going to influence the map, but whether it's a new map or the current map is up in the air. They're not going to scrap Verdansk. It's Warzone, it is what it is. They'd be crazy to do that with all the bugs that would be introduced with it. But when Rebirth Island came in, everyone was going, thank you, a new map. And funny enough, the addition of things like the Gora Summit versus the Dam didn't really, get us going. It was a whet of our appetite, but when it turned up, the meal was shit. Because let's be honest, who goes to Gora Summit? As much effort as they spent on that bastard place, it's cack to actually navigate around. So hopefully, with the introduction of, say, a Pacific map, which would, complement Warzone and Verdansk rather than replace it, it's going to be a good thing. And because things drop in, there's no reason they wouldn't do it. So let's hope they will. And so finally we come to the little things that Vanguard's going to bring us. And probably it's things like blind fire. They may introduce that into Warzone. Who knows? It's not really that much of a plus in a non-multiplayer situation, just being able to blind fire. You may as well lob one of those decoy grenades, really. All you're doing is announcing where you are, unless you've got all sorts of cold-blooded and ghost on. But probably the one that got me most excited was, of course, destructible environments. But I think there's going to be a caveat here, and a prediction I have is it's going to be very limited. Doors, maybe you can break through. Maybe some walls, but they'll be very clearly designated as destructible. I don't think you'll be able to lob a grenade into, say, a barn in farmland and have the whole building collapse. It's not voxel levels of destruction. I don't even think it's close to anything like the level of destruction that Battlefield will have. But it's going to happen. They're going to do it somehow. I think you'll just be able to shoot at a door until it's gone completely. Possibly, like I say, there'll be a wall that is so obviously designated to have C4 put on it. It's going to be something like that. Either way, though, it's good. Anything that refreshes this game, or keeps it fresh rather, is going to be a good thing, and destructible environments is a step in the right direction. One of the things that annoys me most about this game, as someone who likes to sport the mines, is there's no actual explosion occlusion, and if you're in one of the storage bays in Storage Zone and someone runs over your mine, it's no different than if you're in the middle of a field. Which, let's be honest, they should die immediately if they're in one of those little cabinet places and a mine goes off, and they don't. With destructible environments, maybe at least the building roof would fall on their heads, or a cupboard would fall on them and break their toe. Either way, I'm looking forward to seeing how they integrate it into Warzone. Okay, that's about it. These are just, for the most part, educated guesses. Now, I've never ever paid any money for Warzone, and it could be construed that I have no right to complain if I don't like it. But the reason I think I do have a right is I'm a fan, and companies like Activision need to hear from the fans, and they need to hear when they've done something right and when they've done something wrong. And I always try and remain positive, but the introduction to Cold War was such a monumental fuck up, I think, that it should never happen again. Unfortunately, once Vanguard's been and gone, and next year when the next Call of Duty comes out, which will probably be a Treyarch engine, it'll happen all over again. And I just wish they'd stick to the same game engine, and Cold War can get on its fuckery horse and fuck off back to Fucksville. With all due respect to people who like Cold War. I just hated the engine, I hated the look of the game, and I'm so looking forward to Vanguard. World War II is not my favourite. I've never liked the Call of Duty World War IIs, and there's been more than one. Medal of Honor did it so much better, albeit, a much older looking game. But this is a good thing. For this year, and maybe this year alone, I think we have a reason as Warzone fans to look forward to Vanguard and how much it will bring to the table to Warzone. But this is just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Leave me a comment. And in the meantime, I'll just say, my name's Vinny Voodoo, and thanks for watching.